a man with steel nails piercing every inch of his body, had not eaten anything in over 100 years, but when he heard that the captain was still alive, he kicked open an iron door weighing over 100 tons. The guards nearby were terrified. They watched as the man pulled out each steel nail from his flesh with brute force. The loud commotion quickly drew the attention of the Holy Knight. When he saw the man suddenly emerge, he immediately drew his holy sword and charged, but after a scream echoed through the air, the man stood unharmed. His wounds had completely healed. Seeing the Holy Knight's confused expression, he pointed to a scar on his neck and said that this was a real wound. It turned out that 10 years ago, he had not understood why the captain used a broken sword. Curious, he stepped forward and tried to draw it out. The captain stopped him and warned him not to make her angry, but because he had an immortal body, he feared nothing. Seeing the captain angry for the first time only made him more excited. Then, a flash of white light passed, and an unhealable scar appeared on his neck. Now, the man grabbed the Holy Knight by the throat. He liked the look of the knight's armor and wanted it for himself. But sadly, the armor was too small. When the soldiers arrived, they found the Holy Knight stripped of both armor and clothes. All the Holy Knights turned red with embarrassment. Meanwhile, the man ran into an old acquaintance. He knew this man well. 5 years ago, it was he who had thrown him in prison. Jude drove a steel nail straight into the man's chest, but the man only laughed. Then he returned the favor by driving the same nail into Jude. Soon after, the man reunited with the captain at the prison. As soon as they saw each other, they greeted one another in a very unusual way. Damn ja. Just that brief greeting was enough to destroy half the prison. Then they started an arm wrestling match. Their power was so overwhelming that the prison itself began to collapse. Even the magical barrier outside the prison was broken. After witnessing the terrifying strength of the 7 deadly sins, the Holy Knights fled the scene. The next day, the group set off for the city of the dead in search of the sin of Sloth King. But upon arriving at the village, men discovered a little girl passed out on the ground. He rushed over and picked her up to check her condition, but the boy nearby mistook him for a villain and stabbed the steel pitchfork straight into his chest.